Hello everybody, welcome back. If you're new to the group, each week Molly and I present a word, and this word is designed to be a guide for meditation, journaling, and discussion. And this week's word is lies. Now, each personality type has a different perspective on lies. From what I've discovered when discussing this type of topic with different personality types, each of the 9 personality types has a different perspective. Some personality types feel like giving information at their leisure is their right, and they don't feel like they're obligated to anyone to give more than they feel like giving. Some personalities feel like any withholding of information is seen as it builds distrust in those relationships with those personalities. And each of us have our own experience with lies. Now, whether you have experienced lying or you've been lied to, it's a very heavy discussion. And I learned pretty early on in my life that lies can really damage relationships. I've seen it in my own family, and I've experienced the repercussions of that personally. So I have tried my whole life to live a pretty honest life. I really do believe that it's important for me to be honest when I talk to people, to be open about how I feel as much as I can, as much as I'm able to, when it comes to the very close personal relationships in my life. Now, when it comes to raising children, there are certain things that I believe need to be omitted. Children don't need to know everything. But it is important that when you're talking to them, you be as truthful as you can, because it does make that known in your relationship with your children that you honor the truth and you value the truth, and it's going to help that relationship as children get older. It's going to build that trust that what you say and what you tell them can be trusted. So lies and trust and deep connections are all intertwined, that we have the opportunity when we're in deep relationships, in very close relationships, to build trust through honesty. And the more you are able to do that with your loved ones, with your friends and family and children and the people in your life in your close circle, the more you're going to build trust. And that trust can lead to deep, intimate relationships where you can feel even more comfortable expressing yourself when things get difficult. So the more you're able to express yourself, the deeper those relationships become, and it sort of snowballs. So being upfront about your feelings, being honest about what's going on, those things can build trust. And that's not always easy. Sometimes the information is difficult. Sometimes we're embarrassed or ashamed about things that have happened. Sometimes we know that it's going to hurt the other person when we talk to them about something that's going on, and that's difficult. But that truth can really build a relationship, can build the trust, can build that relationship up. And again, different personalities feel differently about that. So when you look at the IMR system, the primary colors, the red, the yellow, and the blue, they all feel pretty similarly about the importance of honesty. They all feel that it's important to be honest, to be genuine, to be direct, to be straightforward, and that relationship is where they feel the most comfortable, when they're with people that they know they can trust and be honest with. When you get into the secondary colors, the orange, the green, and the purple, those relationships can be a little bit more guarded. So they're going to tell the truth and be really upfront and honest with people that they trust, but not necessarily with people that aren't in that inner circle. So me as a green, I'm very honest with the people that I can trust in my life. I don't have anything to hide with those people. I know that in good times and bad times that I can be honest and I'm loved. But when I go out into the world, there's things that I'm not comfortable sharing with everyone. There's parts of myself that I don't think is anyone else's business. So my boundaries there are really more separated, more segmented. So I feel like I have a trusted group, and then everyone outside of that, I use my discretion whether I'm going to be totally forthcoming with certain things. The tertiary colors, the teal, the chartreuse, and the fuchsia, those personality types are more reserved. They really like to keep their business to themselves. They don't feel like it's necessary oftentimes to burden other people with things. And that part of a relationship isn't as important to them. They're more interested in goal-oriented, future-oriented, moving forward, getting things accomplished, being comfortable, these kind of things. So those relationships don't hold as much importance on honesty and every single little fact and piece of information being constantly shared. So each one of the personality types and each of those groups of the primary colors, the secondary colors, and the third tier of colors really have their own special relationship when it comes to lies and honesty. So I think everyone can agree that lying is not good. But again, the full truth and the full exposure, there's different comfort levels with different personality types. So this conversation for me is really more about how do you feel about that? And can you look at yourself and see, where do you lie there? Are you in that primary group? Are you in that secondary group? Are you in that tertiary group? Which one of those personality types really speaks to you when it comes to how are you feeling about full disclosure, testing those boundaries, expressing yourself to the fullest extent, or anywhere in between that and through that spectrum. And I think that's the important discussion about lies, because when you really look at life, we all have our own journeys to travel. We all have our own experiences that we're comfortable sharing and not sharing. We all have things that we've done or said that we're not proud of. And how we deal with those things and how we communicate those things with the people in our life is what's important. And really understanding those different belief systems, that the people who feel one way about that aren't necessarily hard and fast the right way to feel. That's just the way they feel, and the people in their life, it's important that they can communicate that and be comfortable. If you're not comfortable with those kind of fuzzier boundaries, then that relationship might be more difficult. And when you're choosing a partner, you're choosing friends, that's a little easier. When you have family members who have different feelings, those can be really tense relationships, really tenuous relationships. So that's important to remember when you have parents or caregivers or siblings, people that you're kind of forced to be in their lives, and they have those very different perspectives on this boundary, this like fuzzy line of lies versus omissions. So that's important when you're looking at relationships. And this is one of those things that can be very difficult in our lives when we're dealing with people who don't share the same opinion. And I think, like I talk about almost every week, the importance is to be patient, to try to be kind, to understand that those different perspectives aren't always about you, that those different perspectives are about how that person views the world, and those feelings are true to them. And those differences can be celebrated. They don't always have to be things that drive us apart. So if we can learn to understand that those differences are there, that they exist, and that they're okay, that's really where the peace comes for us within. So I hope you enjoyed my conversation this week about lies, and I love to hear comments from you if you have anything to share. And thank you for showing up this week.